Hey, this is Alex from Vasari Plaster and Paint, and I'm going to show you how to do a very burnished and shiny version of our Marmarino lime-based plaster. We already did our first coat of Marmarino, and we're going to do a second coat, and this time we're going to burnish it. Now, there's different ways of doing Marmarino, of course. You can make it very subtle, flat, with a little bit of texture in it, and virtually no sheen. In this case, we're going to make it pretty uniformly shiny. So stick around, and it's going to be pretty fun, easy, and it's going to be beautiful. So before you do your second coat, you want to make sure that there's no funny texture sticking out anywhere. And if you really want to get it smooth, you can do two coats where the second coat kind of fills in and makes everything perfectly smooth and burnish it out really well. And I think you're going to see a lot more variation in sheen than you would if it's unburnished. Now, when you're doing your second coat, but just kind of put it on nice and tight and be consistent with your trowel strokes as well. It's really important. Don't just kind of go all over the wall. So when you're applying the middle of the wall where you don't have any edges, instead of kind of going like this and making these straight lines, what you want to do is put a little bit on like that, just dab it, and then take it through. Just dab it, and take it through like so. Don't rush it, make sure it's nice and balanced. Take your time with it, and you'll see much better results. So it's been a couple of minutes since I finished putting on this pass, and at this point, that second coat really sucked up the moisture from the first one. And as I'm touching it, nothing's coming off my hand. Now, I can burnish at this point, but I'm not going to. I'm going to make it really exceptionally smooth. And how I'm going to do that is apply another really thin, tight coat over it, and I'm going to wait for that to set up a little bit and then burnish it. The most important thing with burnishing is don't rush it. If it's still wet or tacky and nothing is happening when you're compressing it, burnishing it, it might crackle a little bit. So just give it some patience, give it some time, and after 10, 15 minutes of doing this, it'll be a piece of cake. Again, this is a very nice, thin, tight pass, and I'm trying to eliminate any texture, and I'm trying to get it as smooth as possible. Again, if you're going in the middle of the wall, it's really important that you just put a little bit like that and then trowel it out. So we're going to wait a couple of minutes for this to set up a little bit to where it's no longer tacky, wet, or even like gummy, just so it has a nice kind of slightly dry, clay-like consistency. And at that point, we're going to burnish it, and we're going to really bring out the color and depth and sheen out of it. And it's going to look dramatically different from what it looked like before. So it's been about a minute or two, and already it's drying pretty fast. I'm going to start burnishing it, and with a nice clean trowel, or clean enough, come back over it, and with an angle about like yay, just start compressing it gently. Kind of ironing it out with the edge of your trowel. And when you do that, you should start seeing instant results. So as you burnish it, it's going to get darker, there's going to be more color coming out of it, and you'll definitely start seeing a lot of sheen. If it's not doing anything, it's either a little too wet or maybe a little too dry. And if it's a little too dry, you can come back, put a little bit more plaster on the trowel, and come back again over it, and really put on a really nice thin coat, and then wait for that to set up a little bit, and then come back and burnish it. Before you ever apply any other layers on top of it, just make sure that the previous coat, the previous pass, is kind of nice and dry, and it's not sticky wet. So here we go with the burnishing. You don't have to muscle it, you don't have to really force it too much. Just make sure you're having a nice gentle glide over it, and you'll see results pretty quickly. This type of finish is fantastic for accent walls, sometimes even whole houses. It's really ideal for showers and Tadelakt. And if you're doing something called Tadelakt, for some of those guys that are in the know, it's a compressed, burnished lime plaster, and then it's sealed with soap and wax and all, and you can put it in showers. So this is a very, very good method of achieving that Tadelakt finish. So we're gonna let this completely dry, and we're gonna come back to it, and I know you're gonna love the results. So the second coat of our burnished Marmarino is completely dry, and here's the results. Pretty smooth, pretty shiny. It has a real nice sheen to it. This is a classic burnished Marmarino. So for a quick comparison, this is our unburnished Marmarino, or very lightly burnished, and this is our smooth and shiny one. Pretty obvious, the difference, a lot more sheen, a lot more depth of color, and it's a really beautiful, elegant finish on pretty much any surface. If you have any more questions, please visit us at vasariplaster.com. There's lots more information on technical side of Marmarino, and we have text sheets and videos and all kinds of stuff, so enjoy.